Hey everybody, James Hagglund here in another episode of Who Are They? And we're with Jessica Shaw with Sherwood.
Full name
Um,
is Sherwood Community Services, but we often just go by Sherwood.
okay, cool. Where are you guys located?
Our main office is located in Lake Stevens,
Okay.
but we also have an office in Freeland and we have an
Mhm.
office in Mount Vernon. Our vocational department is in Snohomish, Skagit Island, and San Juan counties. And then our early intervention department is in all of North Snohomish County and Camino Island.
Okay. And do you live in Lake Stevens as well, or?
I live in Marysville.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, how long have you lived in Marysville?
I grew up in Marysville,
Oh,
actually. I
wow.
graduated
Wow.
from Pilchuck. Yep. Uh, Lived in Marysville pretty much my entire life. Moved away into Everett for a couple of years, but moved back into Marysville. And my husband and I actually just bought a house in Marysville last April.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Congratulations. Good
thank you.
time, like back in April.
Yeah, yeah, right before everything went up.
Yeah, so you know the Marysville area pretty well. I've only
Yes.
been in Marysville for about 13 years now. So what do you like to do in the area?
We kind of have some of our favorite restaurants in Marysville. We live real close to Tres Hermanos, so that's one of our
Mhm,
favorites.
mhm.
The new Coconut Kenny's is also amazing. We love it there. We go out to Elemental a lot in Arlington, the cider place.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many great restaurants. Mayfim, the
Thai restaurant.
Thai restaurant,
Mhm.
yeah, the Creamery. There's just so many really, really great local restaurants in Marysville and in Everett. We have some favorites down in Everett too. The
Mhm,
New
mhm.
Mexicans, Chop by Boeing is another one of our favorites. So yeah, my husband and I just love to go eat.
Who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Outside of eating, what else do you guys like to do as far as, like, activities, like hiking, camping, or anything like that?
No, not really that. We're not as active as probably we should be, but
Mhm.
we just like to watch movies and we like to travel, hang out with friends, watch the Seahawks. One of our favorite places to go is up in Birch Bay, which is kind of north of Bellingham, and then go into Bellingham and hit a bunch of restaurants and breweries in Bellingham. So, yeah, I think we just like to eat
Yeah. The
and
birch
go like brewery hopping and try
Right.
different places. So,
Right.
yeah.
Isn't there like there so you're talking about that element one, isn't there a white wall as well?
Yes, that's not far
Yeah.
from there. Yep. And
Okay.
then Skookum is up there in Arlington, which is another popular place. So Elemental is right around the corner from Skookum.
Okay.
So if you
Okay.
like cider and pizza,
Up in Birch Bay, don't they have the water slides up there?
yep, they've got the water slides. And then they've got a little brewery up there too. But it's just really peaceful up there.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot to do. It's just a small little beach town, but it's very peaceful. It's quiet. Um, and it's just a great place to get away and just relax.
Mhm. Mhm. What
Yeah.
about do you read any books or any podcasts or binge watch anything on Netflix?
Um, I I am a true crime junkie. So
Okay.
I love the true crime stuff. So I listen to like Dateline podcasts and my husband just rolls his eyes. Um, but as far as books, I'm really busy. So I find that when I have downtime, if I open a book, it kind of immediately puts me to sleep. So
Mhm.
so I'd rather watch something on TV. And then my husband uh he decompresses with Legos.
Mhm.
He likes to collect Legos, so he will buy me kits every once in a while, and so we'll put a movie on or a show on and put Legos
Nice.
together
Well, hey, there you go.
as couple bonding time. Yeah, and we're watching The Mandalorian right now. So we kind of have those series that we watch. We're watching Ozark on Netflix.
So you're at Sherwood, what do you do there?
So I am the director of investment and partnership, and the investment and partnership team at Sherwood is really sort of the community outreach development team. So we're doing presentations out in the community, just raising awareness about our services. And then we're also the development and fundraising team. So
Okay.
we're out building the relationships with the businesses in the community, securing sponsorships, hosting the events. We have our big gala coming up on April 1st. It's our big annual auction fundraiser for the year, and it's at Tulalip Resort Casino this year. So we're really excited about that. It's the first
Mm.
time we've been in person for like 3 years.
Right.
So we're excited to get in a room and celebrate and raise funds for our programs.
And what do you guys, what does Sherwood do for the community?
Yeah. So Sherwood, we're a nonprofit out of Lake Stevens. We've been around since 1957. We were founded by Hazel Venables. She was a parent of a child with disabilities who was told that her child couldn't learn. And so she founded Sherwood with 7 other families in the community to prove that their children not only had the right, but the ability to learn.
Mhm.
So we provide services, to children and adults with disabilities within their communities. So our early intervention program is our birth to 3 program, and we work with infants and toddlers who are either diagnosed with a disability or they're experiencing a developmental delay.
Okay.
And that could either come through like a pediatrician referral, or if a parent is just concerned about their child, and they can call us up and say, I'm concerned that my child is not speaking yet, or I'm concerned that my child isn't walking yet. They can call us up and say, I want an evaluation, and we'll do an evaluation to determine if they qualified for services or not. And
Mhm.
then once a child turns 3, so those services are things like speech therapy and occupational therapy and physical therapy, feeding therapy. If a child spends time in the NICU after born, they're premature and they come home on a feeding tube, we have therapists that can help with that. And then once a child turns 3, they exit out of our services and the school district takes over. We are finding that 33% of our kiddos no longer need any additional special education type services, and they sort of graduate into general education.
Okay.
Um, and then our vocational program, we support upcoming high school graduates and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities who are looking for work. So
Okay.
we help them with like skills assessment and resumes. We determine what are your goals? What do you want to do? And then we try to match an employer with what their dream job is.
Okay.
So yeah.
So how does somebody like me get involved in helping Sherwood?
Yeah, there's a number of different ways that the community can help. I think one is raising awareness about our services. So I think that many of us are personally touched by disabilities in our lives and in our communities. And if you know somebody who has a child who might need some supports, they can self-refer into our program or early intervention program, or maybe you know somebody or have a child, an adult with a disability, who was told they would never be able to work. Everybody has the right to employment and to
Right,
earn a
right.
paycheck and to do something that they love. So, um, and the other thing that our team does is we educate the community on respectful language and inclusive hiring. So if you know a business who's hiring and just looking for some part-time work and is interested in becoming a supported employer, that's another way a referral can come in. Um, and then supporting our events coming out. We host Purchase with a Purpose events at local restaurants where a portion of the proceeds at the end of the night will come back to support our programs. Follow us on social media, share out our social media posts. We're just really trying to raise awareness about not only our services, but just how a community can be inclusive
Right.
and breaking down those stigmas and barriers that are associated with individuals with disabilities. one of the things our CEO Lance says, and it's really become sort of a mantra at Sherwood, if you will. Our tagline is believing in abilities, but how do you treat a person with a disability like a person?
Mhm.
You treat them with the same respect and and inclusiveness that we all want,
Right.
right? We all want to be accepted into our community. So yeah, just breaking down those barriers, considering the words that you use, all of those things are a really important part of our mission. But one of my favorite stories, I was out doing a success story, and so I was working with one of our employment specialists, and I went out to the job and was interviewing this young man, and I was asking him, like, what do you enjoy doing outside of work? What are some of your favorite things to do outside of work? And he didn't answer right away, and I said, like, hang out with friends, play video games. And his employment specialist said, go to the bar. And he
Mhm.
turns around and he goes, yeah, go to the bar. And I'm like, well, of course you would. You're 21.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to
Right.
go hang out at the bar?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, we're there. There are so many things. We are more alike um, than we are different.
I remember going to a Mariners game. That was the last year, and there was a gentleman there who's he had, yeah, Down syndrome,
Hmm.
and he was drinking a beer, right?
Hmm.
And somebody in our group made a comment like, "Why is he drinking a beer?" I'm like, "Well, because he's probably an adult."
Right,
Like he's of age, right? It's just because
right,
he's disabled or just, I mean, what, the guy in the wheelchair can't drink beer either? Like you think
right,
about it, right? And it's like,
right,
well, they're people
right,
too.
right, right,
Like,
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how old he is, but obviously he's old enough to get a
he must
beer.
be
So
21.
yeah,
He must be 21 because he's 21. That's why he's
yeah.
drinking a beer, because he's 21. It tastes good. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'll buy him a beer if you got a problem with it.
Right, right.
So, growing up or even now, who's influenced you?
So many people growing up make impacts on your life at different times, right?
Mhm.
And I'd have to start with my parents. We were a pretty tight knit family growing up. Both my parents were in the military. That's how they met. So I really feel like um, that work ethic. My sister and my sister's a nurse. We really got that work ethic from my parents.
Mhm.
My dad, who has since passed away, while he was battling cancer and the start of COVID, was still going into work. And I
Mhm.
finally had to tell him, I was like, Dad, you can't go into work, like, it's COVID, you have no immune system. And he's like, no, I need to go into work. And it took a really long time to kind of get through to him and say, for your own safety, like, you have to stop working.
Right.
So but he just had that really strong work ethic, and I
Mhm.
think that they've instilled that in us. So
Mhm.
um we both really take a lot of pride in the work that we do. So I think that that comes from our parents. Um, my guidance counselor at Pilchuck, Scott
Okay.
Stokes, he, I think, um, was a, a big influence on me. Just that validation and that motivation that yes, you can do this.
Mhm.
um, and even my team here at Sherwood, they they are really a positive influence to me on a daily basis. It's such a
Mhm.
wonderful organization. We are all really focused on the mission. We really care about each other. We care about each other as people. Um, and that makes us, I just feel like, even more motivated every single day to go out there and make a difference in our community. And we see the
Right.
positive influence that we're making out in the community. So yeah, I think those are probably some of my top ones.
Wait, nothing against you going being a Tomahawk Pilchuck, right? My kids
Yeah.
go to Getchell, so but I wanna thank you for your time, and I
Yeah,
appreciate it, and we'll get your contact information, the websites and stuff like that, and how people can get
perfect.
involved and help out, Sherwood, but thanks again.
Yeah, thank you for believing in abilities.